ladies and gentlemen, fellow Toastmasters, it is my pleasure to introduce our speaker today, Mr. Mark. He's going to be speaking on the topic, creating a personal pocket power amplifier. Did I get it right?
You got it right.
All right. Okay.
You can say that 10 times fast.
Yeah, say that.
How long is your speech?
I am estimating 8 to 10 minutes. When I gave a similar version, it'd be Softly Feel Toastmaster. I figured 8 to 10 minutes, and I'm being 17. So I have done some chopping since then. So I'm hoping 8 to 10 minutes. That's what I'm shooting for. There's a little flakiness that goes on with this one. So, fellow Toastmasters, honored guests, good morning, and thank you for listening and giving me your attention. My topic is creating a personal pocket power amplifier. Now, before I get into that, does anyone know how a power amplifier really works? I mean, let's take your car radio, for instance. You got this antenna sitting somewhere in your car, or it's embedded in your windshield or something like that, but you get a little teeny tiny signal. And guess what? Your speakers in your car, and you want to listen to this, whatever is coming in on the radio, can't use that little teeny tiny amount of energy. So what do? Your radio is a power amplifier. Runs it in there, so you get a bigger signal that comes out. And that's kind of what I'm going to talk about today. But in the magic of that power amplifier, what most people forget is that amplifier is actually hooked up to your 12-volt car battery, which is a really big amount of energy and power. And what the amplifier actually does is it doesn't really amplify. It takes this little signal in, and then it takes the 12 volts from your car battery, or if you're talking a home system where you've plugged it in, it takes it, and it'll take this little signal that comes in, and it'll marry it up with the big, huge amount of energy. And then it'll give you a big output. It's kind of like, say, taking a driver's license. Have you ever thrown a driver's license or a picture on a copier, and you go, oh, I want to make it bigger, so you hit the increase button, dunk, 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 and it spits out a big 8x10 version of your driver's license. It didn't really amplify. It didn't really make your driver's license bigger, did it? No, it made a picture bigger, and that's what a power amplifier actually does. So what happens is we want to all be successful, and we all have a lot of energy, and everybody in this room is running around, and we got a lot of jobs and a lot of things going on. We got all this energy, and if you're like me, chances are at the end of the day you're really tired, but you get to that point where you're just like, I'm doing all this work and I just don't seem to be moving forward. I mean, I'm busy, I'm crazy, everything's going great, but I'm trying to get to that next step. And that's what this power amplifier idea is supposed to do. So the trick is, we're going to put a little bit of focus and a lot of energy, and you're going to get a lot of success. So I have developed a fun, simple, 3-step process. When we're done, you'll be able to create your personal pocket power amplifier and carry it with you wherever you go. You'll need a writing stick, you'll need a sheet of paper, and I have passed out little cards. Okay, you can just use the back of your agenda if you want, but you're going to need to kind of write stuff down ahead of time, so don't use the card right off the bat, but we're going to kind of calm things down a little bit. I'm going to ask you to think and imagine a little bit. I know it's Friday morning and that can be a little difficult to do, but it'll really help. So, step 1 of this 3-step process is determine what success looks like. So what you do is just take a few seconds, go ahead, close your eyes, and pay attention to your breath. Just a little in and out. If you got a little in there, that's okay. Just in.
Oh, I got a lot of ums there right now.
Right. Now imagine yourself if you knew you couldn't fail. If you knew you couldn't fail, what would your life look like in a few years from now? If you knew you couldn't fail, just imagine in your mind, nice, calm, serene, what kind of success would you have in a couple of years if you knew you couldn't fail? Can you see the picture? Is it in your mind's eye? All right, now go ahead and open your eyes, and just real quick, either write down a sentence or make a little picture or something of what you saw on the piece of paper. Don't use the card yet, just do it on a piece of paper. I'll give you a couple seconds to do that. It should be simple, really simple. What does success look like in a couple years from now to you, if you knew you couldn't fail? All right, while you're doing that, I'm going to go ahead and move on into step 2. And basically, step 2 is the same thing as step 1, only now we're going to focus it in a little bit more. We're going to get that signal, and we're really going to focus it in. So we've got 3 categories that we're going to go through, and we're going to do some more imagining. So go ahead again, close your eyes, and the goal is to see yourself a few years in the future, but now we're going to focus on each category. The first category is your health, because without your health, we know basically nothing is going to be possible. So picture in your mind how healthy you are. Are you running marathons? Maybe you're playing golf without a cart. Or maybe you're walking up mountains, exploring the world. It's your vision. Enjoy it. Maybe you're Machu Picchu. Or maybe you're up rescuing people, Kilimanjaro. It's yours. How do you see yourself being healthy, doing the things you love to do? All right, we're going to keep going on, and we're going to go into category 2. And category 2 is relationships. So what I want you to do is picture yourself with your family and friends. Imagine the things they would say about you. Are you always there when they need a shoulder? Or you knew most of the answers, but when you didn't, you were brave enough to admit that you didn't? Or maybe you inspired someone to do great things. Once again, it's your vision. How do you see your relationships? How do you see people seeing you in a couple of years? Now our third category, I was working on this a little bit. You can call it career, you can call it professionalism, kind of combine in some finance. I'll call it your professional life. But picture in your mind what your professional life looks like in a few years. Now I want you to forget about the concept of the corporate career and think about the main thing that you do every day. I know some folks in here are retired, some folks are getting close to retire, some folks are just starting out. But what is it you want to be able to do in a couple of years if you knew you couldn't fail? Are you helping people solve their problems? Are you designing things that people will use regularly? Or are you exploring the world and learning about other cultures? Once again, it's your vision. Enjoy it. Okay, now open your eyes and real quick, write down or draw out what you saw for the health, relationship, and your professional life. Really, really simple sentence or two. Maybe draw out some stick figures. That's kind of what I did. I do have my own personal card right here. So, step 3 is to take what you've written out and put it on this little card that we have right here. Now, I'll give you a real quick example. For health, I got a little picture, and I know I draw horribly, and I apologize. I know the video is not going to see this very well, but it's me bench pressing my own personal body weight. Now that is a former fitness person, certified personal trainer. when you can bench press your own body weight, you know you're in pretty good physical health. And then if you take steroids, you can do 300 times your body weight, things of that. That wasn't me, but just to be able to bench press my own body weight. For my relationship, I've got little stick figures of my wife, my kids, my grandkids, and then I just wrote a little thing. At least twice a year I want to see them. So just a little memory jogger. And then for my professional, my goal is to help 1 million people understand at least the basic ideas of success. So basically you're going to take a card, you write these down, it's simple, and when you're done, the card is your personal power pocket amplifier, pocket power amplifier. Now the real trick, okay, this is the important part. Every time you have to make a decision in your life, okay, you pull out this card and you ask yourself, if I do whatever it is, if I'm going to go, let's see, like on my way in this morning, do I go to Krispy Kreme donuts before I come to Toastmasters this morning? And I look and I go, if I go to Krispy Kreme, does that get me to my health goal? Mm-hmm. And when you have something to look at, it helps you focus. And it's like, okay, all I did was I just drove down to the end of Palafox and I worked on my speech a little bit just to polish it up. This is opposed to going to Krispy Kreme donuts, Dunkin' Donuts, whatever donuts are close by, because that's the only thing that's open this early in the morning. And that's where the power comes in. That's the amplification right there. When your goals are in a card and you can pull that card out and look at it, it's going to amaze you at how much power you're actually going to have to succeed. So, in recapping and creating and using the personal pocket power amplifier. 1, focus on what you will be like in a few years, knowing you can't fail. 2, focus on the 3 main categories of you for health, relationships, and your professional life. 3, write it out, draw it out, have some sentences, whatever, but the thing is to have it on a card. You can use business cards, you can use 3x5 cards, fold them up. I passed cards out here that I got at a local hobby shop. Got it on a card, you keep it with you every time you make a decision. You take your card out and determine if it's going to take you closer or further from your goals by looking at this card. Do this and you will be amazed at how a little focus amps up your own personal power.